Hello, everybody. Welcome to workshop number 2 for Nibiru Chain and the Hackathon. I'm Calico Nino, also go by Kareem. I'm a front-end and DevRel on the team. And here we're going to be talking about the other dev tools that are provided with the Nibiru Chain Developer Hub, notably the Nibid, which is the Nibiru CLI, and then also the nibijs, which is the TypeScript client NPM package to interact with the chain. So let's get started. So I'm going to reference to the docs a lot since everything that developers need would be on the docs. So from last workshop, we talked a little bit about what Nibiru is and how to connect to multiple chains. But today we're going to be referencing those more. And we're going to be talking more about how to set up Nibiru CLI and perform the queries and accessing a lot of information from the chain. And then we're going to be moving on to NibijS, and we will be visiting one of our sample templates that will allow you to bootstrap your development with NibijS, connect to your wallets, create balances, and basically interact with the chain. So the first thing we wanted to go over really is the networks of Nibiru. So Nibiru, as you guys know, is actually available on mainnet, but we do support 2 testnets. So those 2 testnets are basically our testing environment for developers to test their features, but also where we validate any node upgrades to Nibiru. For the purpose of this video, we're going to be, and this workshop actually, we're going to be looking into the testnet 1 and testnet 2, since some features are available in some and some aren't the other. So first, let's begin by accessing the Nibiru CLI. So the Nibid CLI can be installed using this curl command, which we can run here. It might require you to access sudo, basically give it privileges to access the network, as well as do some major configuration changes. Mine's already installed. You can verify your installation by running Nibid version. So Nibid is basically the Nibiru binary, but also it works as a command line interface, allowing you to interact with the chain. So common commands are basically setting up your wallet, accessing your balances, sending tokens, as well as creating fungible tokens. Last workshop, we created fungible tokens via a smart contract. However, it is actually possible to create them via the Nibid CLI. However, it's kind of regarded not to do so, since it's better to use always a contract, and therefore you have a separate admin than yourself. But anyways, let's go back to Nibid. So the first thing you want to do in Nibid is basically connect to a chain. So to do so, if you already aren't connected, you can verify this by running Nibid config. So Nibid config will tell you the details about what chain are you connected to. And if you want to switch it up, you can just specify the configurations needed. So the things you need to be specifying is a chain ID, which basically is the ID identification or the name, and then the broadcast mode, and then the node itself, which is going to be the URL, and then the keyring backend, and the output JSON. For references to these, you can verify them via the networks docs, which should be present over here. Now that you've connected to a specific chain, you can create yourself a wallet. Last workshop, we did look into that a little bit, but we'll see if we can create another wallet today as well. So to add a wallet, you can just run the command nibid keys add wallet. Keys add wallet, and let's call it Nibiru workshop 2. And then here we'll provide us with an address as well as a mnemonic key. So this mnemonic key is what's going to allow us to set up our wallet in different wallet providers. And for this example, we'll try we're going to try access it using Kepler, and you can do so via our app. So as soon as you log into our Nibiru app.nibiru.fi, you should be able to connect your wallet, but also we can go ahead and set up our new wallet that we've just created. So let it just load. Just taking a little bit slow. All right, there we go. So we can go ahead and add a new wallet. And let's perform an existing one. let's copy the mnemonic that we have for here. And let's import. Let's give it a name of workshop 2. The names don't have to match as long as you just know which one's which. And there you go. So the thing about how basically accounts as well as addresses work on the chain is that they're just reliant on the public key. Hence that as long as you have a public key and some funds, you're basically available to interact with the chain and basically run and execute, run commands and execute and run your own smart contracts, as long as you have some funds and you have a public key. Meaning that smart contracts themselves can also be wallet accounts where you can basically send them funds and they can also send you funds. So now that we have Workshop 2 set up, let's see if we can get some tokens from it. So we can log in through Kepler. Now let's go through our faucet and let's go add some tokens from faucet 2 for now. We'll just do for both. So let's faucet in. All right, and now we see some success. Take a few to, yep, there we go. And then let's try testnet 1. Just make sure we have enough tokens there. There we go. Give it a sec to update. Wi-Fi is not friendly today. All right, that's fine. We can verify this through other means. Oh, there it is, updating. All right. So now that we have our tokens here, one of the things we can do using Nibiru CLI is basically query basically balances and query chain informations. So for this case, let's query the balance. So yeah, and also another thing I missed over here is for order to see all the commands, if you cannot see most of them in the docs over in this section, you can simply just run the command nibd, and it will specify the available commands as well as some documentation about what they basically do. Oops, let's get out of this. All right, let's run it again. And then for our case right now, we want to basically query. So there's the query right here, and then you just run query. And then if you want to see what other options are available, you can see that here we go, and more description on what each one of them does. For this query, we want to access the account or bank information, so we can access the bank command. Nibid. Let's go to the top again. Query bank. And yeah, I guess there's a little hint over here where you can see what we can do over here. So we have the balances and spendable balances to see how much you have available, and then the total. But for now, let's just do balances. And here we need the wallet. So we need the wallet address. And I know way to access the wallet address, there's a command for it, but I'll show you how it looks like, where you can find it in the docs. So you can run this command. So nibid key show wallet, a wallet, -a wallet. And then this allows you to basically look at the information of your wallet that you have saved. And this is it. And so now that we have our public address, we can go ahead and query the tokens we just added to it. Bank balances. There we go. Oh, I guess I am in the wrong wallet. Let me just connect to a different wallet. Hold on. Nibid keys. Show. Oops. Oh, list, yeah. So I have multiple wallets over here. So let's look at, we can see all of them. So these are all the wallets that I have available over here. They're all test wallets, but this allows you basically to query. Basically, this allows you to connect to multiple wallets at the same time or have their information so you can interact with them. So the workshop 2 is this one right here. So let's get that. And then let's get to bank balance and then add the correct address to verify the funds that we just got. All right, and there we go. And then there's a little tip over here. If you run it with JQ, which is a command line tool that basically parses JSON, you should be able to see it in a nicer format. The next command that we can explore over here is another query function, which is the oracles. So if you guys don't know, oracles are basically ways for it to contact information outside of the chain from within the chain. So that can be done via contract, also via nibijs, but over here we have a Oracle module that allows us to access information. So in our case, we can access exchange rates. And yeah, so let's try to get an exchange rate. So let's do exchange rate, and then here we can add a pair. And and we get the exchange rate for this that's saved on our Oracle. Now, a little bit, we can go this a little bit after, but there's going to be another interface that allows you to access more information and basically know exactly what are the oracles available and stuff like that through our heart monitor, which I'll go a little bit after we're done this section. Now, other things we can do here is basically execute contracts or query contracts as well. We've done that a little bit more last workshop, but for now, I'll just show you guys how you can go to query a contract, for instance. So it's wasm contract. Yeah, so let me see if I can have my old contract already saved. Yes, I do. So this is a previous contract that we've created in our last workshop. Let's see if we can query it. Nibid wasm contract. And yeah, so a part of the contract, and it's also available on our GitHub, is that it has the Oracle pricing available, but it also has our other option. We'll see if we can see what else we have there. If I remember correctly, we also have a hello world. Oh, it gave us an error saying that, awesome, we can even showcase you the queries that we had available. So let's try running the hello world. Hello world, thank you. All right, there we go. Let's see if we can get the get count as well. Yeah, count. Awesome. So these basically, Nibiru CLI allows us to interact with the chain and with our contracts. It's really a really useful tool to get the information you need really quickly. It's going to be very helpful during your development. Another thing you can do also is send tokens. So if we do believe transaction, let's just double check real quick. Nibid. I believe it's going to be Nibid transaction. Let's see what else we have in transactions. Oh, hold on. Nibid bank. There we go. So yeah, so bank transactions. So the bank basically is the bank module allows it to communicate with the user's balance, but also in our case, we're going to be able to send transactions. Send tokens. So let's try that from our end. So let's first get the key again, if we remember what it was. Key show in wallet. So this is us right now. Let's see how much we have in our balance. Query. All right, so as you guys can see in our balance, it's under the denom of UNIBI, which is basically micro NIBI. That's basically 1 to the e to the power of 6. That means every 1 million tokens, that's basically 1 NIBI. So that's what micro basically signifies here. And this is also what's used when we spend money on gas, when we run transactions. So in this case over here, we have about 39 NIBIs, or 39 million UNIBI. So let's send some to another address we have. Let's send it to the one we just created over here on testnet 2. Let's copy the address and let's perform the send. All right. Another way so we can easily distinguish between them, let's do from to. So this way, from to, you can see them both. Awesome. Let's do Nibid transaction bank send. We want to send it from, and then good thing that we have that already saved, so I can showcase what else you've been adding over here. So let's add the 2. So in addition to adding the from and to, basically the sender wallet and the receiver wallet, you also have to specify how much you're trying to send in micro NIBI, and then specify the gas. So usually you can specify how much fees you want. I think if you do that, you'd have to do 5,000 micro Nibi. But if you want to have for it to be adjustable, because it's not always certain that the gas fee that you would add is what's actually being required, you can just set up the gas to auto and then gas adjustment to 1.5 or 1.25. I think those both work well. And then you can add the minimum, which is 0.025 micro Nibi. Let's just send here. We're sending how much we're sending. We're sending. Oh, let's send 3 actually. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Here we're sending 3 Nibis. So let's run it, and it's going to ask us for a confirmation. And then let's press yes. Let's get it, and it's been done. So a way to verify that it's been done is that you can take the TX hash and actually query it. Query. Here in this right now, I just used like a small abbreviation of query, which is cute, but you can either use both. This basically tells you more information on the transaction that just occurred. Then you can see the receiver and how much the amount. So let's double check that it actually worked. So if you go back here, we can see that we've received those 3 Nibi. So that's going to be it for the Nibiru CLI interactions. Let's look into other dev tools that exist on Nibiru. So one of them being is the Explorer page. So the Explorer page allows you to explore the chain through a larger scope through the UI. And then here we can showcase the same exact transaction that occurred here, where we queried it. We can also verify this onto on the Explorer for a little bit more, visual appeal. So let's do that. There's going to be transaction, and then if it's running, there we go. Awesome, there we go. So it just went through. So it's the exact same query that we just ran, but there's another format that you can see it through our Explorer page. Now, this is also helpful for you. We want to share transaction with other users. For instance, if I perform this money transfer, I want to confirm with the receiver, so I would send them this URL to verify the transactions. Also, this is useful for when you run a normal contract and execute them. These are also work as validations and basically to know exactly what's happening. And these events, which we've discussed a little bit in the last workshop, where you can edit and add more to on your smart contract as well. Another cool thing here is you can also check out the accounts themselves. So let's see if we can get this address again. And account. Awesome, let it load. And then here it specifies how much Nibis we have, which is 14. And then here it also specifies your delegations and if any transactions have occurred under that contract, under that wallet address. But yeah, awesome. So that's it for the Explorer page. Next thing we want to look over is going to be the heart monitor. So if you guys remember, if I mentioned that a little bit, so the heart monitor works as a GraphQL endpoint to query the entire chain. It also works as it also indexes the chain. So instead of doing these queries via RPC, which is what is being done using the command line, you can do it via GraphQL over here. So remember when we ran the GraphQL, when we ran the Oracle prices, let me run it again. Oracle prices. I specified BTC to USD. There's other exchanges, and here we can see more information on that. So you can look into what available queries are there for you, and use them accordingly depending on the information you want to double check. So for now, let's see what other Oracle prices do we have. Let's look at the pairs first. Then we can see these are the ones we support. And then if you take note to the URL, you notice that we're on testnet 2. Modifying this changes you to different chains. So this is testnet 1, where, there we go. We already have a preset IBC one, which I can go over now. This is already there. So another cool feature of Nibiru chain is it allows you to IBC, or basically inter-blockchain connection between other chains, and send tokens to them and basically convert them. So the way to see how many chains are available is through this query, which if you go through IBC channels, and then you can see what's going to be returned from that query. And if we run the query, we can see the various IBC channels available. And then finally, since this is testnet 1, of course, we have one in mainnet, which is what our main chain has. And now we can query the Oracle prices. There should be some. Awesome. And then let's see what else we can query over here. We can query some staking. Let's see what we can query. Let's query some validators. So to run this command, we can just do staking, and it already pre-fills for you. Validators. And from the validators, we would add, we have an operator address. Let's get the description from them. Oh, actually incorrect. That's what we needed. We would need there you go. Yes, the description is incorrect. Let's just double check that. Valid. Oh, we need to double check this a little bit more. Oh yeah, it requires more information. So yeah, so the description needs a little bit more things. So let's do the details maybe. And then there we go. So then this, so this basically gives you more information that's needed. And then you can also add some filters to it, like a where. Let's do that. Where. Let's do operator address is yeah, there we go. I believe this is going to be in curly brackets. There we go. And then this has to be as a string. And then we can this to prettify it. And then we can get the filters that we want. Other filters you can add as well is the order by, order decrease order. I think we can just set that to true as is. Yeah, there we go. All right, yeah, and then you can perform these queries on the GraphQL. Some of them, like the WASM one, allows you to look at contract events, and using the transaction, let's say the block and the sequence number, you can query this from our GraphQL endpoint. But yeah, let's see how we're doing on time. All right, let's go into our nibijs. So let's go to Developer Hub, DevTools, nibijs. All right, so nibijs is our front end or basically TypeScript client-based npm package to access the chain. The way to include, basically, if you want to explore it, you can visit our GitHub, which will have more information on it. Let's do nibijs to see if we can get it quickly. There we go. Oh, this is the template. Yes. SDK. We would also look over the template in a sec. I'll just look in the TS SDK first. Yeah, so this is it. So the way to install it is basically you can just do npm install or yarn add and then Nibiru chain / nibijs. And here's some examples of what you can do with it. You can do the same queries that we performed on the command line. You can perform them here. And then you can also access the heart monitor, our GraphQL endpoint from the Nibiru CLI. And on top of that, you can also execute query contracts, instantiate and store contracts. The process for those is a little bit more tricky because you have to interact with files and the WASM file and the binary. But for the purpose of time, we're going to look into just simple transactions and simple queries from over here. To help you guys bootstrap your development, we created this nibijs template, which is a Next.js React, Cosmos Kit, Tailwind to superstar your development. So if you don't know what Cosmos Kit is, it's basically a package that allows you to access Nibiru chain through various wallets, and this therefore reduces your time from setting up each individual wallet. They're highly customizable, and they're very easy to work with. So yeah, you can just clone this repo, and then you can start from here. So I already have it cloned, and I actually did some edits to showcase for us later. But for now, let's just remove that and show you what it would look like for you when you create it. So you can do npm run dev. And while that's working, let's look at the code real quickly to see how are we adding Cosmos Kit. To add the Cosmos Kit, you would need to install the Cosmos Kit itself and the Cosmos React. And then you can individually install any wallets that you want to include. Again, for this example, I've only installed Kepler, Cosmos Station, and Leap, but you can add many more. And then after that you've done that, you can set up a chain provider, which is part of the Cosmos Kit package. And then here you would specify the chain list and the chain schemas or the chain list schemas and the asset list. In this repo, you would see that we created for you guys the chain schema for Nibiru chain, and we specified it for testnet 1. Feel free to change that if you wanted to include testnet 2, for instance, or if you want to just access mainnet as is, you can just get mainnet as is, and then this will just replace here for you. There you go. And this is basically a custom chain that gives you information on the chain that you chose, such as the name, the ID, the endpoints, the RPC endpoint, the GraphQL endpoints, and yeah. We're gonna go back to here. And then in this example, we have set up this chain schema and also the asset list for you. So you should be good to go. And then this is just pre-configurations from the Cosmos Kit. Now, another thing that we set up here is the Nibiru client provider. This is just a global way to connect to Nibiru chain. You can do it you don't have to follow this process. This is the process that we kind of recommend, so you can sort of separate concerns between relying entirely on Cosmos Kit and connecting with Nibiru itself using the nibijs. So in this example, after we have connected with the chain via Cosmos Kit, we've taken the get offline signer amino, and then we basically connected that with our Nibiru transaction client. And then this allows us to perform the same queries and transactions that we saw in the Nibiru CLI on the web or on your any node application. So yeah, this is optional. You can set up this different ways, but this is a really good way to do it, so it doesn't waste you a lot of time when in your development. And then finally, let's get to it. So let's look at their application. Maybe I'll just get it itself. Oh, like I said, loaded. Yeah, and then in the repo as well, we've added our branding and colors. So this saves you some time. But if you want to access more information on our branding, they would be on our official website, nibiru.fi/brand. And here you'll be able to see the colors as well as the different logos that the Nibiru has, dark mode, etc. There we go. All right. So in this example, this is where we have this function over here, which we can get from the pages connect wallet button. It's a custom component that we created that interacts with the Cosmos Kit. So the Cosmos Kit has a hook called use chain, where you basically specify what chain you want to connect to. If you want to connect to one chain, you could add multiple chains. But for our example, we only want to connect to the chain that we pre-configured, which, if we are correct, it should be testnet 1. So if we trigger this button, this will trigger the Cosmos Kit modal. And then let's see it. And there we go. And we see that we have connected automatically there. So now that we have that, let's run some queries and transactions from here. So there's this component called balances that I've created. This is fairly simple. We're going to add more to it. But in this component, we are basically going to fetch the balances and then save it in our balances state. So the signing client that we've created from our use client, you need Nibiru client hook, which is, again, if you guys remember, is our Nibiru client provider. Oh, back to here. I should get rid of these so it's more clear. All right, yeah. So we have something called the signing client, and then from the signing client, we have access to Amino. There's two. You can typically set up two, either Stargate, direct or Amino. For this example, we're going to focus on Amino running. So in this, I'll try to do it again over here. So signing client dot Amino. You can right away see everything you're able to do. So you can broadcast transactions, delegate tokens, you can even disconnect. You can get the account information, get balances, get the stake, the balances that you've staked, get the blog, get the chain ID and delegations and many more. And on top of that, you can even access Nibiru extensions that allows you to access the modules that we have. So the Oracle, the IBC, same things that we saw in the Nibiru CLI via the client side. And then, of course, it allows you to interact with contracts. So let me see. Yep, there we go. So the WASM client. So the WASM client allows you to pretty much the same thing, but you can able to execute. You're able to store. Oh, I saw a send there. So you can send tokens, and you can even search a transaction. I'll let you guys have the time to explore this, but I just want to show you what they would look like if you run one. So for in this case, we decided to run the balances command every time we get the get balance. Click on the activate the get balances button, which is over here. So when we do this, we can get the denom and the amount of our oh, we can fix some. Let's fix some styles. Last name. Tailwind's already set up here automatically, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. But let's just set up let's set up two components, a row as well. Let's set up two divs underneath here. Item start. One to showcase the denom, so balances. It's going to be in an array. So the first one, the denom. Let's do one more to show. Oh, it's possibly undefined. So let's just. In case if it's undefined, possibly undefined. Yeah, we set it over here. So let's wrap this up to validate that it's correct. Or actually, since we already have it wrapped in a div, you can add a condition on top to verify that balances exist. And also that balances length of it is greater than 0. This ensures all our types. Awesome. I'll do the same thing for the amount. And since we know the amount is in Nibid, we can actually, or actually it's in denoms anyways. Yeah, so there we go. So we can showcase the amount of UNIB and the amount itself as we get the balance. And then as you switch addresses, if this will let me do it, let's do Calico test 2. Let's get the balances. Yep, there we go. This is the balance for this wallet that I have. Yeah, another yeah, we have some time to showcase the heart monitor. So yeah, for the heart monitor, which is, again, if you guys remember, is our GraphQL endpoint, you can use the new heart monitor class that constructs basically the new modder object for you. And then this is specified in our nibijs. And then here you have to specify two things: the HeartModder endpoint as well as the WebSocket. You don't have to use the WebSocket. This is just there if you want to have like a subscription setup. But you should be good to go with the endpoint as is. I'm just showcasing there for your needs. But yeah, so in the chain itself, maybe I should console log this for you guys to see. Let's have it over here. .stringify. Showcase the chain and what would the custom chain look like. It's already in there. Yeah. So, oh man, this is not as pretty as I thought it would. But if you can see, it will specify information like the feed denom and then the information on the name itself. But then more importantly, it's going to look at the endpoints. So you can see that this is the GraphQL endpoint for you, and then the gRPC, and then as well as the RPC endpoints and the archive one. And yeah, so this is the information that's provided from those custom chains. Let's just do that. Okay, awesome. Let's create another component. Or should we just keep it in the same? I say just keep it in the same then. Let's create another button. And then here, let's call it get from heart monitor. All right, great. Yeah, this button component is something that I created with some Tailwind styles, but feel free to edit. And then here, let's just do some heart monitor queries. So let's just first, maybe we want to look into the oracles. Let's do oracles then. Or let's do IBC. Yeah, let's do the, let's do the IBCs. Yeah, so now that we have set up here with the hook, we can just simply call await monitor, and then here we can see the various endpoints. So this is what we have. And then if you want more information on what each one of them takes, you can actually access the definition and see what the arguments require. So for this one, we basically want to know which we want, the IBC channels or the IBC transfers. For this case, since we're trying to mimic this one over here, we're going to do IBC channels. So IBC channels, and that in itself requires channel chain ID, but we can also look at the definition. Let's do that. IBC channels. Oh, it's set up as undefined. Oh, the D partial, channel response. Channels, there you go. If this doesn't work, I guess set undefined. I guess it's actually undefined. Let's just run this and see. Provide initializer. Huh. Channels. Maybe this was a bad example. Maybe we should have stuck to queries, but chain called chain ID. Type word is incorrect. I wonder if this might still work. Constant. give it a try. All right, let's see if we can log it. Log. If that doesn't work, we're just going to stick to the Oracle example or them delegations. IBC info. Oh yeah, so I guess this was a bad example. Let's try something else then. Let's look into, let's access, where's the staking? I mean, we can stick to validations. Sorry, validators. So let's do staking. Staking. Validators. And a cool thing here, if we have done this previously, you can access the history. So we have that. Okay, let's use that instead. So let's do validators. Yep, validators already preset. And here we want the, oh, let's check for the type. Requires where input. Oh, so it takes into arguments. So this is where basically we're adding the filters, and then here are basically the information that we want. So let's add the filters first. And then the next is what the information we want back. So we want the operator address, so we can set it to an empty one for now. Go. Validators, let's see if you can get that back. All right, there we go. So we got validators array with the operator address, what we have here. Let's give it, do we tend to have one only? Let's see, actually have multiple. Validators, operator address, let's add order sending to get more information maybe. Oh, let it reload one more time. True. Oh, I guess it's just giving us one validator. I think there's a limit on there, but it's fine as is. So this is allowing us to access the validator information. We can see the type for it. And then this allows you to create another state to manage those inputs that you get back. So let's call this validators and set validators. Specify the type to be more safe. Oh, from React. This should be available from nibijs. There we go. And then let's call this validators query. File query. And now that we have access to this, let's showcase the information. So validators, they exist. Let's have a div for it. And if you guys remember what they look like, it's basically an array of objects. So let's do, since it's an array of objects, let's do a map. Validators, map. Operator. What's going on here? Huh. What is the type? Did I get the incorrect type? Oh, dot validators. I see. Dot validators. Yes, it's initially an object. Yeah, and then it might be undefined. It's possibly undefined. Well, this we know is defined for sure. And there we go. Operator address. Let's add that here. Address. Let's give this a div on top. Same thing as before. Start. Just add some style stuff, make it look nice. Here it's giving us an error because it wants a key prop. Let's add the key. And let's give it a width of 12. And let's truncate. So this way you don't have to show too much. So we get from the hard monitor. Oh, and there it is. I think we put it too small. Let's increase the length, 64. And then let's add some width between these buttons. Flex. All right, so we get this information back from the heart monitor. Other cool information you can get back using the Querier. So let's try that for here. So now that you have the endpoint itself, you can create what's called a Querier, and that allows you to again run these queries, but outside of the heart monitor and outside of the sign client, which is another cool way for you to get information from the chain. So let's do that. Oh wait, this is in the wrong div. This one is getting really big. Let's create another one actually. Is there an error here? Let's get a new component. Let's call it let's call it IBC actually. We'll run that IBC example that we weren't able to get. All right, so let's do constant IBC. Let's call it IBC details. Return support default IBC details. And then in here, we would need to basically first access the chain itself that we preset in our config. Well, let's fix the bug here. Why is it complaining with a linting error? Oh wait, it's right here. Just set it as this, yeah. All right, so first let's set the Querier. So constant Querier, Querier, and then we'll set that as. Oh, sorry. Let's connect. So let's create a Nibiru Querier. So Nibiru Querier, and then let's connect it. And so what we need is the chain endpoint. In this case, so previously we were running heart monitor. So via the heart monitor endpoint, here we're going to run using the RPC command, or basically the Tendermint RPC command. Endpoint. Sorry. Which basically is going to be the same command that we ran using the CLI. So we can have that here. Let's set up as this. let's create use effect to initialize this data. Query existing. Now let's do constant IBC channels. To Querier dot. Let's actually call this to a separate function to allow us to fetch, do an await, since we can't do an await in a use effect. Await, let's make it to a async function. With the Querier a sync function. Oh, we're running out of time here. Last example, and we should be good to go. Constant IBC. I would just do response, really. And then we can do Querier dot, and then here we can access Nibiru extensions. And then here we can get the IBC. And then here we can get the channels, and then we can access all channels. So this is the same thing we're trying to do with the hard monitor. You can do it for the Querier, which is really nice. Yeah, so let's do fetch. I'm gonna just console log it for now. Now this IBC details. Let's get this component and add it to our page. Come on, call to action. There we go. Right. IBC is initialized. There we go. Let's see if it's, oh, it's still good promise. Let's put the, forgotten away here. And there we go. Oh, it looks like there's no channels on here we can access. Oh, well. Let's try testnet 2 maybe. Or let's try mainnet. Oh, did not like that. Let's see if. Oh, there we go. We got some channels from mainnet. So do we have some IBC channels? Oh, this is the validators, by the way, from mainnet. Let's comment that out. There we go. All right, let's get back to our IBC channel. So now that we have our IBC channels, we can see it's an object of channels array. Can we get a response back? Yeah, we have a query channel response. So let's set up IBC, or just call it channels. Set channels, state. Come on, not able to identify it. I guess we have to do it our own way. From Nibiru nibijs. There we go. Use state. Oh, I already have that up there. Oh, do we not have it? Oh, since we're using yes, I see what's happening here. So since we're not using we're using one of the extensions, this actually is going to be a part of the Cosm.js since Nibiru JS itself is built on that. So that's why we can't find that type. So we'd have to install Cosm.js to get that type. But for now, since we know what is going to be in it, we should be able to access it, yeah, via that. Response channels. Let's set that to an empty string. Identify channels. Where is that coming from? Be nice if it can import it automatically so we don't have to look up for it, but let's see if we can get it somewhere else. Yeah, Cosm.js types. We can install Cosm.js types. Install Cosm.js types. Yeah. All right. Now that we have that here, should be able to identify it its own. There we go. Now we had it from Cosm.js types. And channels identify argument. Oh, in case it's undefined. Was the error? It's not assignable to. I guess so. All right. It's saying that it could be undefined. Yeah, then we'll just fix this. It's complaining. Argument type is not assignable to parameter type. All right, fine. We'll just strictly just add that here. And we'll just get the whole response. Yeah, it wants it to be undefined. I guess we're gonna have to just set up the type. There we go. Yeah, this type is incorrect. Let's just go back to the channels. Constant response channels. Okay, this guy's gonna complain that it's not. Oh, I see the error. There we go. And then it's not about this defined. Same thing. It really wants it to be undefined over here. Oh, I see the error. So the main error that right now is that the Cosm types that we've installed is not the correct type that we have in NibiJS, and then that's why they're conflicting. Yeah. So in this case, you'd have to install the correct NibiJS. Install the correct Cosm.js within this. For now, let's just keep going since we're running out of time. And then here we'll do channels. Oh, I even forgot what's in it. State, contract, channel ID. Channel ID. And let's just print the channel ID as is. Set the key. All right. Can't establish. Yeah, it's going to complain about this. I say let's remove these types for now. And set this as an array. Never. Just cast it for now. There we go. All right. Let's. Oh, I start running it. npm run dev. Take a sec, it's compiling right now. But yeah, so over here, what we did is we connected to Nibiru Querier, and then we ran through Nibiru extensions to get the IBC channels. And then with those channels, you can potentially just perform those transactions of sending tokens across Cosmos across bridges. So for instance, when we get that loading, you'll see what other bridges we have, so you can potentially send tokens from Nibiru to Osmosis, or actually receive from Osmosis to Nibiru. But just let's see what other options we have. We can get rid of this for now. There we go. There we go. So those are the channel IDs. Let's see if we can get more information out of them. Tag definition, version. Let's get the counterparty. We can't find counterparty. Let's type never. There we go. So we can see more information on the channel and then the port ID from them over here. And those basically those channel IDs is what really needed for you to perform those IBC transfers between different chains. I think we can pause it here, but basically so far what we looked over is the Nibid or Nibiru CLI, how you can access the chain via the command line. And then you can basically see all the available commands and modules that you can have access to, either through transactions or queries. What we also looked over is the Explorer page. It's open here. That allows you to also browse the chain, allowing you to verify your contract transactions or any information on the chains, or you can see here the IBC information. And you can see it across different chains that we have. So testnet 1 is also available. You can also query accounts to validate funds. Then we also looked into the heart monitor, a way to interact with the chain via GraphQL. And then over here, since we have the entire chain indexed, you're able to basically query those events and blocks that happen on the chain via GraphQL. This way, it's a little more reliable than RPC. And then we've also looked in how you can access those in your in your application, your front-end application, either via the Querier that we set up over here or via the heart monitor that we've set up over here via a hook, or just general via the client, the signing client itself, which in that case is Amino, to access that. So yeah, this entire workshop will be posted in the nibijs-template GitHub, nibijs-template, in a branch called workshop that allow you to start off from this branch and to build on it, and to see what you guys can create. If you guys have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to us via Telegram, or on Twitter, or on our Discord. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hope to see what you guys build next.